Virtual maintenance applied. Tech priest bless each port. Diagnostic prayers report. Circuits blessed. Spirits sing. Perfect function processing. Perfect function means.
Alright, greetings for all that's I'm interrogated Sarivas at Tassatim Lady Inquisitor Markham of the Order Hereticus, and welcome to looking cute and painting minis. I'm coming at you live from the grim dark future, currently broadcasting from the High Rule of Virago. The theme for the stream is Chords, Lament, by the Venerable Liturgist Adam Bell, and we also have music for 140K Mechanicus, composed by Guillaume David, and the cover art at Bulwark Studios, and music from 140K Dark Eye, which is composed by Jasper Kidd, and the copyright of Fat Shark Games. All our music is provided to us by ende.app at pixabay.com. And today we're continuing to paint the Tzeentch Marine. And don't forget, you can use your channel points or Imperialis for all kinds of fun rewards, to include changing my outfit. We've got 5 to choose from: the Interrogator form, the Mechanicus Protocols, the Vampiric form, the Xeno's Life form, and the Shifter Guise, which might go to explain why I'm able to change my appearance with your use of Imperialis. How is everybody doing today? How you been? Let's see if we can make sure that this is not... It's too blurry. Hold on, let me fix this. There we go. And this model is looking pretty snazzy. I still have a lot more to go as far as the non-metallic metal, but I think he's looking pretty good so far. What do you artists think? And we have Lord Inquisitor Callahan and God Emperor Man saying greetings and Ave Imperator Interrogator. How you doing? How you been? Hope all is well. What have you all been up to? I have just recently fixed the staff for Village the Curseling, or how I'll probably start calling him, Villic the Possessed. Figure he should have his own unique name, since he's going to be a 40k character and not a Age of Sigmar character. And to fix it, I actually use this new glue that I bought, and it's Gorilla Glue's Super Glue, and it was actually a breeze to use it. It's got super precise dipping on there. I could just squeeze the size of this and get the exact right amount of glue I want on the model, which was pretty sweet, so I definitely recommend it. And we have Mokele Membe just following. Thank you very much for the follow, Mokele. How goes it? Welcome to Looking Cute and Painting Minis. Enjoy the show? Like I said, I'm currently painting this guy and working on some non-metallic metal. And Mokele says, "Oh, good. Hey, happy to hear it. What brought you by? Are you interested at all in Warhammer, or maybe some of its other games like Age of Sigmar, or Kill Team, or Mordheim? Or do you like the lore? Maybe you just like miniature painting in general. I know that's a pretty broad spectrum of hobbies." I'm gonna go ahead and use some more Baylor Brown to maybe shine up a little bit of the back here. Looking a little dull. Got a Permansis painting world leaders working on brass trim. I now remember why I don't pay CSM. A whole lot of trim. Yes, that's one of the downsides. But also one of the upsides to the CSMs. All that trim actually gives them a very imposing appearance. I'm gonna use size 0 Da Vinci for this. Bokila says, "Orc player, just got back into 40k after a long hiatus. Woo, very cool. Are you gonna play the new 11th edition? And you get the 11th edition box set?" Personally, I'm more waiting until they bring the orc set by itself, because I might just pick that up. I really did like the models for the orcs. The Space Marines were just okay. The orc ones was where it was at. Damn, I need some more. And Lord Inquisitor Callahan says the standard dealing with the fracking administratum and lists incompetence, also known as paperwork. Yeah. And I feel like just adding those little bits there are making those arches on the power pack actually look pretty good. Lucas Callahan, Mokele says, "Yup, split a few boxes with friends just starting out." Cool. Any plans on how you want to paint them? I'm actually working on getting my own little orc kill team started. Just waiting on some final printing, because these are actually going to be proxies. I didn't get my own printer, but somebody who is commissioning me is actually pay me with some printed models. So pretty fun. I'm actually very eager to get started on this. I plan to paint them in my own little what's it called? Take on the blood axes. But okay, it says blood axes, olive drab cloth with red armor and khaki pants. Nice. They are definitely one of my favorite orc war bands, or what is it, orc clans? There we go. I feel like I'm not getting enough paint out of this brush. Yeah, I would say them and maybe sorry, not the thousand, the evil sons. There we go. Yeah, that's already livening up that trim there. I said it was looking pretty drab earlier. But yeah, as I was telling Lord Inquisitor, sorry, not Lord Inquisitor, God Emperor, as tedious as painting all this trim can get, especially for the CSM, it is rather rewarding. Because all your hard work ends up paying off very well. But yeah, as far as my next recital rant, I think I am about 2/3 of the way done as far as all the editing. Then after that, I'll start adding the subtitles for my Spanish viewers. Then it should be good to go. So I'm hoping to be done maybe sometime next week. So thank you for your patience and waiting for that next video to hit. Again, it's supposed to be part 2 of my Tzeentch Crusade rant. Thaddeus says, I saw a video of someone using a paint marker to do chaos trim, and it seemed painless. I think I've seen some of those like painting markers. They look pretty good. I can't remember who I saw use it. I think it might have been Squidmark. But how you doing, Thaddeus? How you been? Oh yeah, Beetlegeist or Beetlejuice. Is that absolutely my favorite song in my playlist. And we have a Leaking Fan back again saying, I've used Gundam paint markers for CSM trim. It's nice. How you been, Leaking Fan? And that's actually pretty cool. What CSM were you painting? And then Thaddeus says, better. Went swimming and currently sewing kid seats covers for my library. Ooh. Sounds very intensive. Good luck sewing all that. That's pretty cool that you can sew. Give me access. I don't even think this Marine. I could have sworn you posted the finished model on Instagram. No, I haven't finished it. I keep posting progress pics, But I don't know if you can tell, but there's still a lot missing. For one, there's no non-metallic metal painting on the horn there. There's none on the skulls. It's just a base color on them. Those shoulder spikes still need to be done. I haven't touched at all the leather trim on this. I barely touched that chainmail there on between his legs. And there's still parts of the gun that I need to like fully detail. For instance, the handle is still black. Yeah, pretty much all these parts here, none of that has been touched yet. I said only a base coat here, and even a little error there where I accidentally painted there. And there's still the base, so there's still plenty of him to do. And even some of the under armor, I still need to do some detailing on that. Again, it's just plain black. And but how you doing, Game Maniac? Hope all is well. Licky's fan says I'm good, and yourself? I did it for a Helldrake, otherwise I wouldn't have finished it. Oh, really? A Helldrake? Ooh, that's actually a really cool model. It's one I haven't gotten my hands on. I don't buy a lot of what's it called? Vehicles. I don't buy a lot of vehicles just because they don't interest me as much as like painting characters. I do have the Caradron Overlord's like little ship that comes in the starter box. I forgot the name of it, but I do plan to paint that at some point. But speaking of Caradron Overlords, I just bought myself some more of them. Let me go ahead and pull it up here. I still have it on my desk. So I just bought these guys, the Vulgar and Harpoon crew, and I love them. I love all these like little flying units for the Caradron Overlords with the globes on their backs. It's very neat. I am very eager to start painting these guys. And Mokele says, speaking of markers, has anyone tried the Army Speed Paint markers? I got the starter set, but haven't really used them yet. That's what I was talking about earlier. That I saw. I think Squidmar were the ones using it, and they look pretty efficient. I haven't tried using them myself though, so I wouldn't know if they're any good. Thaddeus says, I do basic sewing for LARP and Halloween customs. I struggle to sew it in a straight line. Ooh, really? I mean, either way, I'd say I still quite the feat. I do not sew at all. Natalia says the Army Painter markers were the ones I saw being used for the CSM trim. We used non-hobby paint markers for mini painting and it worked well. Nice. Which non-hobby painting ones did you use? I'm gonna clean up the brush. I feel like it's crusting up a little bit. We can continue painting once we're cleaning it up a little bit. But yeah, Game Maniac, as for earlier, your question, I always post progress pictures of the model I'm currently working on my Instagram. When you'll know it's done, as it'll say in descriptor 1 that it's done, but also I'll do a, what's it called? I do a little turnaround of the model. I do, so that people can see it from all angles. And that's how I usually know that I'm done. And then Didi Mini says, who's this guy? What guy? The guy I'm painting? I haven't given him a name, actually. Oh wait, no I have, but I don't have access to my... Maybe I do have access to my notes. Let's see what... Because I think I wrote it down. Let's see. Okay, yes, his name is Balthos. I called him Balthos. Let me go ahead and get my camera back up here. And we have Tadia saying, X Pao Fei bought on Amazon. The kids love him. Oh, okay. I'll have to check him out. And Diddy Meaning says his name shall be Filbert. No, Balthos. His name is Balthos. And Coffee and Hobby saying, hey, Rosario, hey everyone, how are y'all? We're doing pretty good. How you been? Then we have Relavan saying, hi, how you doing, Relavan? Welcome back. How is everybody doing? Anybody working on any new projects? Just currently talking about the painting markers. And the name for this miniature, which, like I said, is Balthos. And Diddy Mayonnaise is still trying to stick with Filbert. It says Balthos fake Filbert McGregor. That could be his full name, but it will never be said as such. Come on, quit being so stubborn, brush. Give me the paint. Okay. That it says we now have his full true name and can bind him to a demon engine. I don't think he's a demon yet. He wishes he were a demon. Maybe a little mutated, but definitely not a demon. And Relevant says, I'm doing well, I guess, haha. What do we have here? Currently still working on, Balthos, my heavy bolter, Tzeentch Marine. And like I mentioned earlier, I just fixed the staff for Vilek the Possessed. That's the name I'm giving him. Like I said, he's originally Village the Curseling, but I kitbashed him for 40k, so now he's his own man, his own new character. Especially because the new Curseling sucks. And, hey, Minnie says, Balthos Filbert McGregor, who nearly stood up to the chicken of Bristol and personally would himself at the Battle of Baden Hill. Nice Monty Python reference. And we have Cthulhu Madness just following. Thank you very much for the follow, Cthulhu Madness. Hope you're enjoying the show. And then Relevant says, oh no, Village. I love that bastard's ending in the end of times. Oh yeah? I actually don't know what happens to him in the end of times. I just love his mini. Oh yeah, looking very nice and golden now. Anybody else is underwhelmed with the new cursing model as I am? Actually, I find that a lot of the models for the Tzeentch, or should I say the disciples of Tzeentch, are actually very underwhelming. Like, the only ones that actually look pretty cool are the demons. Aside from the demons, the models themselves of all the followers and the wizards and sorcerers and whatnot, they all look kind of lame. Ritaman says his brother asked Tzeentch to take control of his body again, and when Village fails again, Tzeentch grants his request. Oh, really? So Tommen gets his body back, huh? What happens? I'm curious now. Story time with Rilavan. Tell us what happens. And J Ray saying, "What's up? How you doing, J Ray? How you been?" God Man says, didn't see it. Yeah, I haven't seen it either. That's one game I actually still need to play at some point. I tried playing it a little bit because I find the idea that the Dark Elves are actually the Americas is pretty funny. But I got bored pretty quickly with the main campaign for Malekith because it was just giving me a tutorial, and I was like, I want to get past the tutorial and just trial and error the game. And Jerry says, I made an Irish soda bread with cherries. It tastes pretty good. That actually sounds delicious. That actually sounds absolutely delicious. And then Lament says, and well, that's all. I mean, I remember Tzeentch granting the request of his favorite son, and Village says he asked for no grants, and then Tommen says it is his grant. And that's where it ends, with Village's last moments before fading away and his hair of his body becoming lifeless. I gotcha. But yeah, my idea for this rendition of, I guess, Village the Cursed Thing, which I call Vilek the Possessed, is that he is a possessed space marine, and the possession manifested as a separate entity, which is what would be originally the village character, but who I am calling as the Vizier. So the Vizier always whispers him secrets and can tell truth from lie, and always gives him information. So beware to those that lie to him, because the Vizier will be the one to tell him otherwise. It was such a hard time keeping this from drying up on the brush. That's the problem with when you're edge highlighting, because it's such a small amount of paint, it dries pretty quickly. And Relevant says, haha, that sounds so cool. Can tell 3 secrets, 2 are lies, and one is the truth. Yeah, I'm glad you like it. Yeah, I do have plans for him, like I said. So I'm actually very excited, because it's not often I come up with ideas that I can do for my own lore. I do plan to have a Villic, the Possessed, make an appearance as far as my own lore. Then we have swamp crabs. Swamp crabs. Say hello. How you doing, swamp crabs? How you been? It's been a while. What you been up to? And Rena Boss says, OMG, I thought that Gregorian chants were from my PC. Haha. No, no. I play a lot of Gregorian chants on my channel. A lot of music that I play are either Gregorian chants or music for Wine Mofurike Mechanicus. Or Dark Side. I might have to look up the soundtrack to Rogue Trader, see if there's any good ones that I would like to add to my playlist. And definitely want to check out Dark Heresy. Oh, speaking of that, yes, I finally finished that campaign. The Dark Heresy campaign that I was running. Then Titus says, "Oh, do tell." The team was actually really bad at maintaining secrecy, and I had told them that their Inquisitor Devilo, wanted to make sure that this was completely stealth, like that no one would doubt that Inquisition was involved. But they kept blabbing to everybody. So they ended up finally securing our arch heretic who was behind all the illegal Xenos and Chaos trade in the planet. But because they had blabbed, the people who did the grabbing of this arch heretic were the Planetary Defense Force, which were led by the Planetary Governor, who then falls to corruption after trying to interrogate the arch heretic, and the planet ends up becoming a manufactorum for chaos forces, or the Dark Mechanicum. So they end up failing. Yeah, they were able to grab the guy, but they didn't have custody of him. They couldn't get him to the Inquisition. And the Inquisition kept trying to get a hold of the planetary governor and try to find out where the prisoner was. But because again they had blabbed, they were the Planetary Defense Force was able to just secret him away so that they couldn't find him. And the planet again, like I said, falls to chaos. So a unhappy ending. And the Inquisition kills the agents due to incompetence. Titus says bad ending, damn, but very 40k. Yeah, no, I thought it was very fitting. And Lord Inquisitor Callahan says, well, time to blow up the planet. Yup, pretty much. And Titus says, I was just about to ask what happened to the PCs. One got blown up immediately upon getting the bad news from the hideout that they were working from. As soon as he said that they didn't have custody of the guy and the Planetary Defense Force had custody of the guy, they didn't. The Inquisitor set self-destruct to their hideout, and it just blew up on them. And then the other ones were killed off one by one over the span of a few years to make it look like accidents. The Inquisition wanted to leave no trace. Why are you so stubborn, Brush? Give me the paint. And Vilaman says, I recently heard some Gregorian chants and I thought maybe I'd forgotten to close it. Ah, okay. Yeah, that'll do it.
Benedictus fructus ventris tui, Iesus, Sancta Maria, Mater Dei, ora pro nobis peccatoribus, nunc et in hora mortis nostrae. Amen.
There we go. Paint's being very stubborn today. And Thaddeus says, a very similar thing happened in our Wrath and Glory campaign. We triggered a Tzeentch cult ritual early and the planet was ripped into the warp. Thankfully, I was a spaceship psyker and got everyone out safely. Oh, okay. Well, at least you guys made it out okay. So you were the navigator? And we have a good roast dinner, Lord of Chaos. How you doing? Good roast. That's all quiet. How you been? Welcome to Looking Cute and Painting Minis. I'm Interrogator dos Arduas at Sanctum Lady Markham of the Order Hereticus, and I'm currently painting my Tzeentch Marine, aka Balthos, the heavy bolter gunner. Thank you for swinging by. How you been? And Good Role says, I'm doing good, just making a custom kill team rule set. Ooh, really? Do tell, please expand on that a little bit more. I'm actually very curious. Okay, I think I am done with all the Baylor Brown. Yeah, I think I'm done with it. And then Ray Levance as Inquisitor, painting a Chaos Space Marine. I hadn't thought about that. Know thy enemy. Especially if you are a part of the Inquisition, you gotta know what you're up against. And A Good Rose says, I bought the War Heroes Mystery Box for pretty cheap online. I saw they had Kill Team cards, and it just made me want to fix it. But I went down the rabbit hole of making my own. So now I'm making a Dark Age Rules Kill Team. Ooh. Yeah, I wish there were more Kill Teams with variations like that for the different either Chaos Space Marine chapters or maybe some of the war clans or stuff like that. I feel like it's very underserved. And Good Rose says, apparently I have got the Sergeant Sniper Blade Master and Warrior done. I'm currently working on the factory rules. Ooh. Is there a lot of people going around doing their own like homebrew rule sets for Kill Team? I hadn't heard of stuff like that. I've heard of people doing like proxy models or stuff like that, but not outright rule sets. And Good Rose says, and actually maybe want to make a Rubric Marine specific psychic kill team that has an ability that lets them use spells twice because powerful sorcerer. And he says, yep. Oh, okay, because so you're not satisfied with a regular Rubric Marine kill team. You're not a fan of 100 Zangors? All Zangors, all the time. Hey, make sure there's enough paint on that knee pad. I feel like there isn't. Alright. Idea is a little bit better for the skull here. And a good rule says if you go on the website, Kill Team Dash, there's hundreds. Oh, I didn't know that. I'll have to look up Kill Team Dash. And then Gadaperman says, oops, all Zangors. Attributed to Banker's no work. Yeah. He's pretty funny. I do like his channel. And I don't know if you caught, but he started doing D&D related content too, which can be pretty good. I don't care too much for his videos on the classes, but his videos on the races and some of the locations of D&D are pretty neat. And Guros says, anyway, for the Dark Eagles kill team, I'm gonna make it primarily mainly focus team that have abilities to buff their melee weapons. I'm guessing you mean melee, not Malay as in Malaysian. I'm currently trying to think of a faction that balanced. And then he says, a faction rule that's balanced, but not too powerful, but not too weak. I'm trying to think of it either adding severe or ceaseless to their weapons. And then he says, I hate speech to text. Yeah, I don't blame you. Unfortunately, I haven't played enough Kill Team to be fully aware of a lot of the rules. But that is definitely a game that I want to play more of. I want to play more Kill Team. I definitely want to try my hand at Warcry. And Mordheim and Necromunda, there we go. Those are all the games. I like the skirmish games. I feel like it gives me a little bit more personalized characters and definitely a lot less models to paint. Okay, so we're done with Baylor Brown. Now we're gonna use the Ungor Flesh again to try to do some extreme highlights on these parts in the back so we can be done with the trim. And for that, I'm gonna switch brush. And then Good Road says ceaseless basically means reroll any dice that have the same number. And then severe says means automatically you critical if you don't get one. Those are actually both pretty cool. Which one do you think makes more sense thematically for the Dark Angels? I feel like ceaseless sounds a little bit more thematically relevant. Because there are ceaseless in their pursuit for their heretic brothers. Alright, so I'm gonna switch over to the Quintuple Zero Marie and start doing some extreme highlights for the Ungor Flesh. And the God Emperor says, well, I'm gonna be lurking as I'm working on my chaotic project. Hey, well, good luck. That's a lot of trim to get through. I know, I feel your pain. And, but yeah, see you around. And thanks again for the lurk. And Good Rose says, I'm thinking ceaseless because they're very good at swordsmanship, so I could make sure they don't miss more. Ah, that's another good one. And Good Roll says, that's one thing I was thinking of, that they have an advantage against Chaos kill teams. Like in their fighter apply, if an enemy operative has a Chaos tag, you gain +1 attack die. He says, firefighter ploys. Gotcha. And Lord Inquisitor says, see you later, Interrogator. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Remember, the enemies of the mankind are always within reach. Stay vigilant. Ave Imperator. And you take care, Lord Inquisitor Callahan. And again, farewell from Lady Inquisitor Marco. Guru says, speak, I'm guessing you mean text speech, not picking up my accent. I hate my Welsh accent so much sometimes. Well, I think accents are very cool. I feel like my own Spanish accent comes through sometimes. Which I feel like just adds character. There we go. Good roast. I just said a bunch of stuff for the Dark Angel Sergeant. Very specific terminology there, but he pretty much summarizes it as, this is the profile of the Sergeant. And then he sends another one, Dark Angel Sergeant, ALP 3, M6, S +2, weapon 15, or wounds, I guess 15. Weapon profile, semi relic bolt pistol, 4, 3.3-5 piercing. Unfortunately, it goes over my head, a lot of it. But I get you. And then he says, that's just the weapon profiles. He has 3 abilities. Which abilities did he give him? And then a good role says, oh, it's fine. If you get into Kill Team, you'll understand. Vex. I look forward to it, really do. Like I said, I do like a lot of skirmish games. Which does remind me, another one that I do want to play, and I've played at least a video game form, is Blood Bowl. I love the Blood Bowl video game, and I would love to play that myself. I have my Imperial, I guess, Blood Bowl team, and I'm very eager to play as them. And then he asks, what's your favorite faction? My favorite faction actually is the Mechanicus. I don't know if you're able to tell from my little bow tie, but I am part of the cult Mechanicus. Yes, I look very fleshy, but that's because I believe that the body that the Omnisci gave us is one that is in keeping with this plan. Ooh, Thaddeus just redeemed my Mechanicus protocols. So hold on, let me go ahead and put that on screen here. There we go. This is my Mechanicus protocols, where I'm a little bit more Mechanicus-y. And Thaddeus says, I'm back to finish the thought about my Wrath and Glory character. I was a psyker who was being used as our Geller field and went insane. So the whole adventure, I believed I was a spaceship. That sounds pretty crazy. And then he says, Blood Bowl Gaming stream when? I'll have to see if the Blood Bowl game actually plays well on my computer. At least well enough to be able to do a stream with, too. Because I've played it. I can play it by myself. I think where it becomes difficult is the streaming part. A lot of things get slowed down, like my mic and my avatar. It just starts glitching, so... I have to double check, but if I can, I most definitely will. In fact, I'm gonna go ahead and put that on a vote right now. That if possible, if you'd like to see me play Blood Bowl, or if not, if you'd rather I play Darkest Dungeon, which was originally the plan once I'm done with, what's it called? With Grand Blue Fantasy, yeah. Alright, so I'm starting a poll now. The poll is going to be on for about 10 minutes. And Thaddeus, hold on. It's a good roast says, if you get into Kill Team, I would recommend a starter set, or a very simple one to understand because, well, some rules for certain teams are 14 pages long. Good to know. When you say the starter set, you mean the one that had like the creek and the orcs, or are you talking the one that has the space marines versus the plague marines? Where is my camera? There it is. And then Titus, maybe as a one-off stream would be fun. I don't know how engaging the blood game would be. I think it'd be actually quite engaging. And then a good roll says yes. I'm guessing you mean either of those is fine. Oh, good to know. I'll have to see if any of those are still available. I've also tried to piece together how to play from Wahapedia. And Good Rose says yeah. And then by the way, if you do get in, there's an app where all the rules are free. Ooh. Something like the Warhammer 40k app. And Thaddeus says, looks like the Death Guard are for the 3rd edition. Latest, I believe. Yeah, 3rd edition is the latest one. Which I was a little upset by because it kind of ruined a lot of my kill team plans. Because I originally had planned these guys to be Chaos, just Chaos Space Marine, just standard, with Mark of Tzeentch as their main, I guess, differentiation. And I plan to use them with cultists, but now you can't do just basic Space Marine with cultists, which kind of puts a damper on my plans for these models. So I was thinking I'll probably be using the Rubik Marine kill team rules, and then just switch out the Zangors for the cultists. But it kind of ruins a lot of the ideas I had for them, especially the models I had bought. So I have to rethink of, or maybe even rebuy some models. Because I had bought the models for the cultists that were compatible with that Chaos Space Marine team. And then Aguro says, the only thing annoying about Kill Team is the terrain, because when you buy it, costs a lot of glue to build and is a pain to paint. Yeah, I'm not a fan of painting any kind of like background stuff, whether it is the base or terrain. I like painting characters. I think this dried up. Yep, it dried up. And Thaddeus says, I love how meaningful the terrain is to Kill Team. 40k, it feels way less important. Well, I love the idea of terrain. Don't get me wrong. As far as gameplay is concerned, terrain sounds amazing. That's one of the things I look forward to when playing both Kill Team and things like Necromunda and Mordheim. I just don't like the idea of painting it. All right, let's see what you guys voted for. I went down 50-50. So far it's 50-50. I don't know if it's gotten away yet. I think it's still going. I guess I'm still have time to make your vote, but it's currently 50-50. Alright, where's my camera again? There it is. And Good Rose says, I really like the color scheme you're doing. I usually go for dark metallic blue. Thank you, thank you. I really wanted to, I want to get better at non-metallic metal. So I figured, why not just try with my guys? And I think it's coming along great. I am loving how they're coming out. I just think that non-metallic metal is probably my favorite form of painting miniatures. I think it just adds so much character. And then Titus says, I voted for Blood Bowl, but people on Insta seem hyped for Darkest Dungeon. Can't change my vote now. Oops. Hey, no worries. Like I said, you said at least try to do one game. I'll try to do at least one game. We'll do one and then see how that goes. Alright, let's get some on here on the backpack. I think after today, we should be able to get started on the non-metallic for all the other metal parts. Anyway, we should be done with the gold today. Okay, let's take a look at them. We gotta give it an overview. Alright. Anything that might need a little bit more highlighting? I guess maybe here on these corners? Looks like some of the arch on the backpack might still need some Ungor flesh. Okay. Maybe a little bit here on the bottom of this foot. And Kofi Hummy says, sorry, Dad needed me to watch the Dawns. Why I was silent. Hey, no worries. Just glad you're still among us. Right now, just giving it an overall glance. See what needs some finishing touches here. That's not to say we're done with all the gold. No. We still have one tiny bit of gold to do. But I'm just trying to make sure that I have all the gold parts there. Because we have the final highlight. In fact, I think I'm done. So yeah, we have the final highlight now. Yeah, we're gonna use... Where is it? Ceramite White. With that extreme glow. Uh-oh, I think this thing froze on me. Yeah, it did. I have to use a different wipe. Great, let's see what other whites I have. I think I'll be using... Guess I'll be using Screaming Skull. And Coffee and Hobby says, I'm a white. I mean a white paint. And Scree Skull isn't necessarily the white that I was going for, but we'll make do with what we got. It should still be kind of what we need. Right now we're just touching up edges. Extreme edges. The obvious part of the fun of painting is throwing stuff together and seeing what works. Yeah, I agree with that. Coffee Hobby says, experimentation, insanity, my specialty. And Coffee Hobby said, experimented with a non-metallic gold scheme via the Krita drawing app. Worked out well. Hopefully we'll get a chance to try it out on a mini soon. I use Krita all the time for drawing. And for editing my, my thumbnails. Pretty good program. Coffee Hobby says, I've been getting back into practicing 2D drawing. In the end, I want to master a few crafts. Yeah, same here. I know miniature painting, obviously, but it's not the extent of my my artistic endeavors. I'm also a well-versed artist as far as drawing, though I've been very bad at practicing. And I also do some 3D modeling and animation, which I would love to get back into at some point. Because my hope is to actually make my own mini someday. Coffee Hobby says I've mastered writing. Oh wait, you already said that. No, I guess I didn't read it. I've mastered writing to an extent, so the main skills I'm working on is my mini painting, 2D drawing, and jewelry making skills. Nice. Yeah, I've only done one drawing stream so far. I really need to get back to doing some more of those. Thadia says, making your own minis would be very cool. What were some of your ideas for minis? Well, other than modeling myself and Lady Markham and Goyen and the rest of cast of characters that I plan to make, because my idea is to make us all into a playable inquisitorial kill team, which I thought would be pretty fun to do. So aside from that, as being the primary project I'd like to work on, there's so many ideas. I would like to maybe take my own hand at making my own version of these, like a full cloth. As in my Tzeentch Marines. Create some that have a little bit more mutations in them. I like the idea of extra arms and whatnot. So yeah, doing that would be another project I'd like to work on. I love the Vicros. Is it Vicros or Virkros? I can't remember how it's Vyrkos or Vykros. I think it's Virkos. The Virkos vampires from Age of Sigmar, but I feel like they don't have enough of them. So I would like to make my own and also make them available for 40k. If you don't know what the Virkos vampires look like, they are the more animalistic vampires in 40k. And I don't mean the ones that just look like ghouls, but I mean more like they almost look like half wolves. So they're lean, but they have that vampire aesthetic, but then the lower bodies are very wolf-like. And I would like to see more of those. So I was thinking about making my own, own line of Virkros models. Maybe just making it so that you can have some legs, so in case you wanted to make your own also. Another thing that I would like to do is I have a whole list. Let me see if I can find my list. Oh yes, for the Soulblight Grave, sorry, not the Soulblight, the Flesh Eater Chords. I love the idea of ghouls that think there are knights, but I don't think they really encapsulate that idea well enough. So I would like to make more knightly looking ghouls. So that's the what I call my quixotic ghouls. So that's another thing I would like to do. And seeing as I love Darkest Dungeon and the style that Darkest Dungeon has, I think with the idea of Trench Crusade as the basis, making Trench Crusade models that look more in the style of Darkest Dungeon, that very blocky, sort of deformed style that they have going for it, which has a very stark contrast between the shadows and the light. I think that would look great on a model, and I would love to see that actually played on a Trench Crusade board. So I feel like the Trench Crusade models usually have this sort of, they're too close to, what's it called? Too close to human proportions, what they call that? True scale? There we go, that's the word I was looking for, true scale. A little closer to true scale, and I would prefer something more like heroic scale. And I feel like that sort of blockier aesthetic to the design of the models would be really cool. Another one is I want to I want to put the Bad Moon Gloom Spike kits from Age of Sigmar into 40k. So that's another model range I would love to do. And finally, I would love to see some Muslim Sisters of Battle. We already have the basic Sisters of Battle, but I feel like we should see more inspiration from other parts of religion for the Sisters of Battle, because their look is great, but I think even they don't quite just scream nuns with guns. That ideal for them is nuns with guns, but I don't see enough of them wearing the nun habit for my liking. Definitely, that's one thing I plan to kitbash in the future, just like more Sisters of Battle with habits, you know, like nun habits. But for sure, I would like to see Muslim Sisters of Battle. I think giving them a more Persian look to their armor, and giving him the head wraps, you know, and the, what do they call that? The not shamag, but I forgot what the name of it is, but that headdress that they wear, where they cover their face a little bit, or maybe you could just see the eyes. I think that would actually be pretty cool. The hijab, Mokele says hijab. That is correct. Yeah, thank you. So yeah, I think making those would be very fun, and those are projects I would like to make in the future. So with your donations and your help, for sure you'll help me get there when I, when I have enough money for the funds. Because right now, it's either I build them myself or I commission an artist to do it. So either way, I will need the time and the energy to build these myself, or have somebody build them for me. But yeah, I think we are done with the model for today. But before we go, let me read some more messages. Coffee Hobby says, I also want to learn blacksmithing. I've been fascinated with blades all my life. Blacksmithing would be very fun, and I'm sure you would get a kick out of it. I love seeing that channel. I think it's like Forge and Fire or something like that, where they make like video game or movie weapons. Yeah, that's a lot of fun. I would love to see that. And then Coffee Hobby says, I agree with Thaddeus. Oh, thank you for agreeing with him. Yeah, I like the idea of making my own minis. It's pretty fun. And Mokele, he told me it was hijab, so thank you for that, and he even did salute. Thaddeus then says, great ideas. Would most of these be bits for existing model kits, or are you planning to make model everything? A little bit of both, Thaddeus. I was thinking I could make bits for kit bashing, or make my own. I would want to make the ability to do both. For those who may like some parts of the model, make it pretty much modular, so that people could kit bash if they wanted to. And then J-Ray says, you say Muslim-inspired Scissor Battle? That's so cool. I never thought of that. I know, right? And I feel like there's so many more religions we could pull into the idea. Like maybe more Buddhist or Shinto-inspired Scissor Battle would be pretty cool. You know, or pretty much go full broke. Maybe some Norse-inspired ones. I feel like we don't have enough Scissor Battle designs. I love this battle. They're among my favorite armies. And then Thaddeus is Man at Arms. Yeah, that one. That was such a fun show. And Mokele says the idea of Sister Battles with hijab would fit nicely for an order based on a desert planet. Yeah, I know, right? The ideas just write themselves, really. And Thaddeus says doing both would be crazy, but awesome. Thank you. Let's just hope I can get there. These are all the ideas that I would like to do, but if you like to support... Hold on, what happened there? Why did my footage go so small? Oh, well, that's something I'll have to fix another time. But yeah, if you like what I do and would like to support, please consider subscribing to my Twitch channel or donate to my Ko-Fi at Rosario Art. Or if you miss an episode, feel free to check out my YouTube channel, which is also called Rosario Art. And remember that I'm currently working on my next rant. I have about 2/3 of the way done, so wish me luck that I'm able to finish it before the month is over, and then have it to you by next week. And remember that if you'd like to commission me to paint a miniature for you, then please hit me up on Instagram over at Rosario Art. But before we go, let's see who we can raid. And again, thank you guys for coming. It's always up to chat with you. And 7A Rose, thank you very much for the Waku Waku. Do not think that I missed that. I always appreciate your support. And currently, Diddy Mini says, what the heck happened to your avatar? I have several skins to choose from. So this is one of them. Is called my Mechanized Protocols. And you can choose which skins I use with the use of your Imperiales, aka the channel points. Oh, I think we're gonna go ahead and raid DK Diamantes, if you know him from, what's it called? Adeptus Ridiculous. Looks like he's playing Splatoon 1. Actually, that game looks pretty fun. Love to play it if I ever got my hands on a Nintendo Switch. But yeah. Coffee Hobby says, happy to be here. Always fun to watch. I'm glad you had a good time. And Diddy Mini says, I gotcha. Yeah. So you can change my outfit from 5 to choose from. So think of that whenever you see those points go up while you're watching. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and hit raid now. So I've been at Terra Yerosarimas at Markham of the Order Hereticus, and I'm setting out for the Grindar feature. Bye bye, varlets.
Boom, 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 boom. Yo, Rosario Rivas R, thank you so much for the raid!